Islington, and this is right across the road. So yeah, we're just going to have a little look. They've got updated opening hours, recording equipment not permitted, but then how is that enforceable? As always.
Yes, sir.
You alright, mate? How you doing?
Yes. You have an appointment?
No, I don't have an appointment, thank you. What's that, sorry? Is that the appointment list?
Yeah.
Oh, G4. Are you G4S?
Yes.
G4S shouldn't be handling that. It's against data protection rules. I have it on good authority from G4S themselves.
To do it.
You're not allowed to handle that information. I did a freedom of information request with G4S. You're not allowed to handle that. It has to be job centre employees.
Right.
But yeah, that really shouldn't be handling that. You're not trained under data protection to handle that information. That's people's private information, that. We've got the cost of living payment. We've got another one there with that QR code. That one's probably easier to pause and scan. Sorry, love, you're right if I just reach over, you just get a picture of these. Is that all right? You're all right, I just need to reach over just so I can get them in the picture. Thank you, it's very kind.
33,000 a year you can earn. 33,000 a year you can earn, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good. 33,000's it's all right. Well, for London, it's average, I suppose. Yeah. There we go. That should be covered up as well. Look at all that personal information that I've just taken a picture of. All that personal information is on display for everybody, my friend. It shouldn't be on display, should it? That's names, details. What's it got on there?
I don't think that's a person you should be addressing.
No, it's not. It is, but you know, like, yeah, I agree. I agree. But yeah, that shouldn't be on display, my friend. That should be covered up. You know,
Why should that be?
because it's got people's names and things on it, my friend. Yeah, data protection, exactly, my love. It's got the name, company name, work address.
Sign in.
Yes, of course they need to sign in, but you need to keep it covered when it's not in
Sorry,
use.
I'm not being rude to you.
No, I appreciate that, and I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm just trying to give you advice.
Before anything even escalates inside this job center, you need to understand the pattern that's unfolding here. This isn't just someone walking in with a camera. It's a structured audit of public-facing government operations. The auditor starts outside with a very simple but loaded statement. They're going to call the police. That alone sets the tone, because whenever filming and authority intersect in UK public buildings, there's always this predictable friction point. Policy versus law. Perception versus legality. Now look at the question's enforceability. That question, how is that enforceable, is where the entire tension begins. Because in reality, a lot of workplace rules exist in gray areas where policy, law, and practical enforcement don't always align. And as you'll see, the moment staff feel that their internal rules are being challenged, the interaction begins to shift from informational.
Don't worry. Read the message and then... Very bureaucratic.
Work it out. What a way for a government employee to talk to a citizen. Very disgusting. That attitude is disgusting, my friend. Yeah, but it's not the attitude. You need to be more polite and courteous. That attitude is unacceptable.
By the way, who you are? You didn't introduce yourself to me.
I don't need to introduce myself. That's an unacceptable way for a government employee to address a citizen.
Then come and say whatever you want to. That is not acceptable.
It is. Well, they're doing it to that citizen, and they're government employees. They work for the government. They need to be more respectful.
Very nicely to the guy.
He did not. Did you hear what he was saying? It's all on the camera. It's all picked up. That was not an acceptable way.
It's not.
Pardon?
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. It's the way that... No, it's the attitude that they gave them whilst they were telling them. It was a very bad attitude, very bad. The things that he was saying, the tone of his voice that he was saying in it was unacceptable for a government employee to say to a citizen. They're a government employee. Yes.
He obviously was trying to explain the reason why he's late.
Yes, and I appreciate
fine.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
Yeah. That was what they were dealing with him.
Yes, but
what more would you have expected
it's
to
the
say?
way that he spoke to the person. It's the way that he spoke to him, and that it was very snappy, it was very rude, it was very condescending. It was not an acceptable way for a government employee.
Before you come in,
No, it's okay. No, because I'll
The other guy also wasn't listening.
whether or not a citizen is listening, he's a government employee.
They're both
Okay.
human beings.
Yes, I know, and I appreciate that. But he's a government employee. He's here to do a job, and he needs to be professional about it, doesn't he?
First real friction point, data visibility. The auditor immediately notices something most people would walk past without thinking twice. A printed list containing personal details. But under GDPR principles, this is exactly the kind of situation that raises questions about data minimization and lawful processing. Now, this is where interpretation becomes critical. From a security perspective, staff often operate under time pressure and may not fully consider public exposure risk. But from a compliance standpoint, displaying identifiable personal data in an open public-facing area is a potential breach if not properly controlled. What's important here is not just what is being shown, but who can see it. Because even if the intention is administrative efficiency, the risk remains the same. Unauthorized exposure of sensitive information, and the auditor doesn't
They
escalate.
are a government employee. Okay, we pay for this service with our taxes. We don't expect to be spoken to condescendingly by our.
Paying taxes.
Yes, yeah, they are, but they're paying taxes from money that we pay them. We pay them from our taxes, and then they pay taxes from that. You know, and that's how it works. It's like our taxes cover your wages while you're working here because you're hired through DWP. You have a contract with them. So, like, when you pay taxes, it's coming out of money that we've already paid our taxes. You're paying taxes out of taxes. Okay? So, yes, we fund. Pardon?
What do you do?
I record public information in public places, and when I see things like that go wrong, because I'm recording, that evidence will now go up to. Yes, this will now go up to the MP for DWP. I'll be sending them an email directly with the link to view the footage, and letting them know about the attitude of the staff here. And that,
So you've been doing that for how long?
oh, quite a while, quite a long
The
time.
response you got is what?
Quite positive. I've had, so in situations like this, I've had G4S security assault me with no reasonable grounds, and I've managed to get there and fired.
An opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously you're entitled to your opinion,
Sure.
but we can't actually have you filming here.
I'm aware that there's a memo from March this year that says that people are allowed to record in a public place. Okay, because this is not an appointment-only job centre, it would state so on the door. I'm allowed to come in and look at the information. That makes this a public place, and therefore I'm allowed to record. It clearly states it in the memo.
Absolutely.
Okay.
However, but you walk in here under license, which specifies there's no recording.
It doesn't.
It does.
The
There's
memo
a
from the
sign up there.
DWP states
Either
otherwise.
way, I'll ask you to stop recording.
I'm not going to stop
Okay.
recording.
Or
I'm not going to stop recording. I'm sorry, but you've started recording me without letting me know.
No, it is my responsibility because we've been told you people are not supposed to,
Okay.
without permission.
we're going to ask you, please stop recording. I don't give you permission to record us.
Okay. I don't give you permission to record me. How about that one?
All right. So
Okay.
our next step will be to call the police.
Okay.
Okay.
No, they're just across the road. You can run over and grab them.
How about we just stop everything in peace and then just move on to,
Unfortunately, I can't do that because, like I said, there have been things going on here that I've noticed as soon as I've walked in the door that are data breaches. There are attitudes from the DWP staff that are unacceptable. Okay, and now they said they're going to call the police, and then if they're going to call the police,
At this stage, the conversation shifts from observation into authority challenge. The auditor is now directly questioning whether the security personnel are even authorized to handle specific categories of data. And this is where things get complicated, because in public sector environments, responsibilities are often layered. Government departments, contractors like G4S, and frontline staff all interact with overlapping duties. That creates confusion about who is actually accountable for what. From a compliance perspective, the key issue isn't just who is handling the data, but whether they've been properly trained and authorized to do so under GDPR and internal DWP guidelines. But instead of addressing that directly, the response becomes defensive, focusing more.
so I'm just going to wait for the police to come because I don't want them coming here and then have to go looking for me. That's a waste of their time further, and I don't want to waste the police's time. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue recording the information that's available to the public. I really appreciate how calm and professional you've been. You've been very good. It's not often you get that from G4S, unfortunately. That's It's blank on the other side, so there's that one. You know, it's just the way that, the sign on the door, he was saying it says no recording equipment allowed, but then you got QR codes for people to come and scan, so it's a very old sign that needs updating.
I realised there are other people down here that
Oh sure, and I'll blank them out, yeah, absolutely, like I'll blank them out of any footage.
then-
That I'm not here to film claimants, that's not what I'm here to
So
do.
you basically looking at a rule that says a mobile phone is not shouldn't record.
But yeah, but there is no rule that says that, unfortunately.
You're looking for that specific word, mobile phones.
Well,
But
not
mobile
necessarily.
phone could also be a recording.
It could, so exactly. So you can't
So you
ban,
know.
so you can't ban people from using recording equipment when a mobile phone is a recording
You
equipment.
use it to take a photo of there, like if
Exactly.
you're looking for a job, but
Yeah.
recording is just something that you're exposing other
Not
people's
really.
faces.
Not really.
People are holding it. You just mentioned earlier that to my colleague, you
Mm-hmm.
said that this is the list is DWP.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yes, but when you do recording, you're also exposing people who
No, because
claim
if I put that anywhere visible to the public, I will always make sure that I blank out any personal information. And if you said I was, that would be a lie. But if I was being aggressive towards you, they could get involved. But at the moment, if anybody asked me to leave, it would become a civil issue. It's called civil trespass, which the police have no power to get involved with. So the police have no power to kick anybody out. And that's why I like to wait and make sure the situation is cleared up with the police, because I don't want them then looking for me to come and find me, entertain me and question me on the street. It's wasting their time looking around for me. What's the point? And I need these people to understand that they can't call the police on things like that. This is a public place in a government building that we pay for. We have the right to come and have a look around.
So you're gonna stay there until then?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You're a man of your words.
Pardon?
You stick with your words.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to have conviction in a job like this. You can't.
I'm just a separate ego in peace.
Pardon, sorry?
I'm just a separate proper lot in peace and then
Yeah.
live in peace.
I mean, I will leave in peace, absolutely. But yeah, only when some education has been learnt, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm on this phone, I can't. But yeah, I actually have a copy of the memo from the DWP that states, as I was trying to explain to
The classic moment in auditing interactions, the watch and wait phase. The auditor isn't engaging staff directly anymore. Instead, he's observing systems, signage, and data exposure patterns. But importantly, he remains stationary and visible. And this is where perception plays a huge role. From one perspective, he's simply exercising a legal right to film in a public access area. From another, his prolonged presence and documentation of internal processes may be interpreted as unusual or suspicious behavior. That gap between legality and perception is exactly where misunderstandings happen. Because while the law may be clear, human reaction often isn't.
I'm talking about the personal data.
Yeah, I'm against that. So I did a Freedom of Information request, and I asked the question, can you provide me with the information that says G4S are allowed to handle appointment lists and personal information of claimants? And they responded saying G4S are not allowed to do this. That is not in your contract. Your contract is to stand here, be security, observe, intervene with any security issues. But you should not be handling. You can say to somebody when they come in, do you have an appointment? Yes, okay, then go see this member of staff and they'll deal with you. But you should not be looking at people's personal information. It's not in your remit. It's not in your training to handle people's private information. The DWP were very clear on it. So when I see that for me, data breaches are a huge thing for me, especially in a government building. It's very unacceptable.
But it doesn't look like it's data breaching though. All we did was like help those people out to allocate them.
Yes, but now without the correct training,
Mix.
it'd be better if the police hadn't been called on me.
So what's your issue? You got any
Got
problems
no
or
issues
you just
at all.
recording?
I've got issues, but nothing that you have the authority to deal with. It has to go to the Information Commissioner office, so it's outside of your remit. So I'm not going to bother you with it.
Okay. So you're just gonna sit here and record, or did you want to talk to one of the members of staff, or was it you?
I've already spoken to the members of staff, but they don't seem to be taking on board anything that I've given them advice on.
So what was your query to them?
No queries, advice.
What was your advice?
The fact that the G4S security shouldn't be handling personal information, they don't have the correct training. I have word from DWP on that. And just the way that they were speaking to claimants when I came in, and I was like recording some information on the leaflets, and I could overhear the way that they were talking to a claimant was very rude, condescending, and just generally disgusting. Not the way you would expect a government employee to talk to a citizen. It was very rude, so I said to them that that's unacceptable, and I will be reporting that to the appropriate person, who will be the MP for the DWP. I'll be reporting that directly to them.
That's the correct way to go
Absolutely,
with it,
yeah. So I was just recording, and then they said, you need to stop recording. I said, no, it's a public place, I can record here. And they said, well, they're going to call the police. And I said, well, if they're going to waste your time to get you here, I'm not going to make you waste your time then looking for me. I'll wait for you, so you can tell them that I'm in a public place. I've been government bodies.
Can I just ask, are you recording?
I am, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're also recording.
There we go. Finally got there. I was going to pull you up on that because it was a bit late on that one.
Okay.
You should have told me as soon as you turned your camera on.
Were you recording conversations with?
No, I was recording information in a conversation that I overheard. The camera might have picked it up. I'm not sure. But even if it did, they shouldn't be having that conversation in a public place, should they?
Okay. Obviously, there's an expectation for privacy if claimants are sitting at the desk over there. It's a sort of cordoned off area.
No, it's not cordoned off at all, though, is it?
There's privacy screens.
Yeah, but I wasn't there. I was at the desk where all that public information. So the issue there comes. Well, if I'm recording, if I'm not recording, okay, and I overhear a private conversation and I overhear private details, that's still a data breach, whether I've recorded it or not. The fact that I've heard it is the data breach.
I'm not really interested in data breaches.
I am. I really am.
It's not our business.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said to you as the ICO. That's why I didn't really want to bother you with it.
You've been asked to leave by staff, so you have to leave.
I haven't been asked to leave at all.
Do you want this gentleman to leave?
Don't solicit a trespass. Don't solicit a trespass and nod your head. Who are you? What's your collar number there?
1798.
1798
This
CN.
just told me he's asked you to
And
leave.
CN22. Well, he's lied to you then. He's lied to you. It's all recorded on camera, so he's lied to you.
Yeah, he's saying he's never been asked to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just confirm that that's his leave.
You've asked me to stop recording.
And you continue to record.
Yeah, you never once asked me to leave.
Okay. So can we just confirm? No longer
So you're still soliciting a trespass?
Can you just confirm to me, for his benefit, because there's obviously a bit of debate over this, is he welcome on the premises or not?
No. If he can leave because he's refusing to stop recording us.
Can you be clearer than that?
Okay. In that case, is that something that you two can get involved in?
Well, you're not trespassing.
Is that a police matter?
We will assist him in removing
It's a civil issue. You don't have the power.
We will assist him in
That's a
removing
civil
you.
issue.
Sorry, I'm not going to argue this with you. We will assist him in removing you. I'm aware it's a civil matter. I know what I'm doing.
Well, you clearly don't.
We will assist him in removing you.
Okay.
And we will use reasonable force to do that.
You don't have the power to do that. This is not my first rodeo here,
I
Constable.
get your auditing. It's fine.
It's not exactly.
I know what I'm doing and I know my
You really
rights.
don't, clearly, because you're threatening to.
Most important legal friction points in the entire script. The difference between policy and law. The sign stating recording equipment not permitted appears straightforward, but legally, it's not always that simple. Publicly accessible areas funded by government bodies typically do not have the same enforceable restrictions as private property unless explicitly backed by legislation or enforceable contractual entry terms. This is where confusion often arises. Staff rely on internal policy. Auditors rely on legal precedent and public access.